Introduction. Don't be into trends. Don't make fashion own you, but you decide what you are, what you want to express by the way you dress and the way you live. These are the words of Gianni Versace, the world-renowned Italian fashion designer, and these are words to live by. Other than speech, our clothing is the only means of us to freely express ourselves, a freedom enshrined in our Constitution, where it states that Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech. With that said, I must strongly oppose any form of curtailment of these rights of any group, regardless of reasoning. Background of the issue. Workplace animosity isn't a new phenomenon, especially in major cities where employees can range from anywhere in the world. In a perfect society, this blending of various ethnicities and cultures could lead to new innovations and new experience for everyone. But in reality, this blending often leads to fear of the unknown, and in some cases, closeted xenophobia. Explain the issue. Recently, 23andMe Holding Company has had to deal with its own class of cultures. In essence, there are two camps, the Black Lives Matter movement and the Make America Great Again movement. Individually, these are perfectly fine, but for some reason, they have seemed to bring out the worst of both camps. This has led to a palpable animosity in the workplace that those caught outside of the two camps have described as uneasy and at times apprehensive. We would like to present the following definitions. The first is culture blending. Culture blending is defined by Schoolhouse Law to mean that the union of two or more diverse cultures, which makes people bond and allow individuals to better understand each other. Tolerance. Tolerance is defined by Merriam-Webster to mean sympathy or indulgence for beliefs or practices different from or conflicting with their own. I affirm that with this resolution, that all of our staff will learn to coexist with one another and learn to tolerate each other's beliefs. And the practice of tolerance of one another's beliefs will lead to a more welcoming environment for all in the long run. This course of action will lead to a blending of cultures in a way that will benefit both camps and one that will bring out the best of both movements. Gisselle will now bring our first argument.
Our first argument is that censorship of any kind stagnates natural discourse that can lead to positive connections between different groups. Censorship has never yielded positive results in any case, because the group being censored ultimately feels that by their message being blocked, it gives them a sense of victimhood, which further proliferates their beliefs. Therefore, being allowed freedom in discourse beliefs can be addressed properly and through helpful dialogue, compromises can be met. The evidence to support this is that a core battle that took place back in 1977 between a small town in Illinois, the American Civil Liberties Union, and a group of neo-Nazis. The shocking part was that the ACLU was actually defending the neo-Nazis' right to hold protest march down a small town's main street. In the end, the ACLU successfully argued on behalf of the neo-Nazi group and solidified their right to freedom of speech. This matters because, just for clarification, for those who are unaware, the ACLU is most famous for defending the civil rights of minorities against cruel and unjust laws and policies. In essence, they are the guardians of God-given rights for all of those who reside in this country, and even they saw the importance of protecting the freedom of a group who themselves would not allow the ACLU to operate if they were to come to power. And here's Eric with our second argument.
Thank you, Gisselle. Our second argument is that tolerance is key. Our argument is that through culture blending of Make America Great Again and the Black Lives Matter movement, a positive discourse can be achieved that leads to tolerance of each other. Furthermore, it is our belief that a positive coexistence can only be achieved by having both groups face the issues at hand and work to find a positive solution. The evidence to support comes from the Scientific American Journal, who in their piece about the attack on the Capitol following the 2020 election reflected on how the importance of unity in a form of shared identity, such as belonging to the same nation, to promote trust and cooperation. This is often easier found with people whose identity is similar to their own. Furthermore, they discussed that such a feat is insurmountable in the United States due to the size of the country. Rather, instead, they pushed the belief that tolerance is where the key lies for peace. To put it bluntly, these two, for whatever reason, whether it be racial, cultural, or even generational, one will never find themselves working among like-minded individuals. Therefore, you are guaranteed to come at odds with someone, wherever you may find yourself employed. And for that reason alone, it is important that we attempt to find a sense of common ground in order to coexist. Gisselle will bring our next argument.
Our final argument is that allowing employees to engage in free speech will empower them by making them feel noticed and heard. Giving employees the ability to express themselves offers them a voice within the organization. It shows employees that they are a crucial and important part of the company's success. A corporation seems like a good employer who appreciates their workers when it takes a stand for social justice and freedom of speech and allows their employees to engage in it at work. Companies will gain a positive reputation in the eyes of both current and potential clients as a result. Customers are more inclined to support a business that supports its workers, promotes social justice, and upholds freedom of speech. The evidence to support this is stated in an article written by Hunter Johnson. Being open about what you believe can help your employees feel empowered to show up as their authentic selves at work. Another piece of evidence is a survey conducted by SurveyMonkey. The survey showed that 78% of consumers said that they made a purchase decision based on their values in the last year. 55% said that they are much more likely to purchase from a place that aligns with their values. Freedom of speech will gain the company employee and customer appreciation. This matters because employees should feel safe in their workplace. They should feel like they have a voice and the freedom to use it. Giving employees that right reflects well on the company. That is another reason why this matters, because companies need a good reputation. A business with a positive reputation attracts more clients. And here is Eric with our conclusion.
Conclusion. We have presented various reasons justifying an employee's right to wear what they see fit at the workplace. And as Prada once said, what you wear is how you present yourself to the world, especially today when human contact is so quick. Fashion is an instant language. Employees showcasing their beliefs is a wonderful catalyst for conversation. And with the right of positive management of it, employees can learn to either accept there exist opposing views or learn to tolerate them. As John F. Kennedy once said, tolerance implies no lack of commitment to one's own beliefs. Rather, it condemns the oppression or persecution of others. Moreover, at the end of the day, tolerance is all we can ask of one another as we attempt to coexist in this melting pot that is the United States of America. Thank you. That is our argument.
Here at 23andMe, we understand that our coworkers are made up of people from various walks of life. Different ethnicities and political views vary from person to person, and that's what makes everyone unique. Fashion is just one way people choose to express their individuality and life choices. Whether it's a graphic tee of their favorite band or a hat of their favorite sports team, people use fashion as an outlet for their views, and 23andMe supports individuality. Background of the issue. As mentioned earlier, fashion is a form of expression, not just in support of your favorite band or sports team, but also in political views. There's a lot of civil unrest that hasn't been seen in this world in quite some time, and people are picking sides. And this can carry over into the workplace. At 23andMe, we want to build up as a team and not isolate an individual because of their political preference. This can cause conflict within the work environment. We believe that political views should be left out of the workplace. Explain the issue. We should not be allowed to wear any attire to work representing political views. We have a level of expectations, and differences in political choices will stand in the way of what the company is building. This is similar to the issue of allowing employees to wear sports team apparel to work, and that was voted against. Fashion expressing political views should be no different. We also would believe that not wearing your lab coat in the workplace causes an unsafe environment. We work around dangerous chemicals that can spill or cause fires, and wearing shirts of any kind in lieu of your lab coat is unsafe and professional. We would like to define the following definitions. Asset is defined by the Oxford English Dictionary to mean any item owned or right possessed by a firm or individual that has an economic, commercial, or exchangeable value. Proper attire is defined by the Employee Handbook to mean work-issued personal protective equipment, or PPE. The framework for this decision should be the Employee Handbook that was distributed to new employees when he or she signed their new hire paperwork. We are against the idea of allowing employees to wear political attire to work. They should be required to wear their required lab coats at all times when working. The course of action we suggest that, and we will support, is to give a warning to the employee for the first incident. The second incident can lead to a write-up for that employee. Now here's Dan with our first argument.
So for our contention one is preventing potential conflict and tension. Our argument is that allowing employee to express opinion relating to social or political matter through their attire can result in conflict and tension. By implementing a policy that clothing cannot contain any messaging, the employee will know more about what their attire expectations are. By enforcing this policy also help the company minimize conflict and ensure a productive work environment. The evidence to support this is in the article, How Companies Are Choosing to Ignore or Embrace Political Discussion by Cindy and Dochi King. This article mentioning half the respondents had political discussion at work. Out of them, 40% say that this conversation have adversely affect their ability to work. This matter because the less tension and conflict that employees face at their workplace, the more beneficial it is for their mental health. And a harmonious workplace environment ensure employees to focus more on their work, on their responsibility. Furthermore, this new policy contribute to creating a more positive workplace environment, a place where everyone feel equal and respect, which in turn lead to a greater work gratification, a better relationship with the company, and more efficient outcome. Back to Kenan.
Our next argument is ensuring employee safety. Our argument is we are required to wear lab coats and other personal protective equipment, such as eyewear, foot slippers, to prevent workplace injuries. Your lab coat protects you from chemical spills that occur during work. Your lab coats are flame resistant and will protect you when working near open flames. By not wearing your lab coat, you are putting yourself and others around you in danger. The evidence to support this is in your employee issue handbook on page 9 under required work attire. That was passed out to you when you first started. The handbook outlines your requirements to wear personal protective equipment at all times when you step onto the floor. This includes lab coats. Employees are required to sign the form that they understand the rules that are stated within the handbook. The rule is not only implemented by our employer, but a requirement by the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, that clearly outlines that those working around hazardous chemicals are required to wear their PPE. This matters because an employee can be seriously injured if not wearing their lab coat and other PPE while working around open flames or chemicals. If OSHA were to do an inspection on our facility and see our employees are not in required PPE, our company can receive a fine. Now here's Dan with our next argument.
So for our contention 3 is protecting the company image and reputation. Our argument is that the company image and reputation can be protected by enforcing a dress code policy. So by focusing on the neutrality of employee attire, the company not only uphold a professional image, but also prevent media crisis. The evidence to support this is, according to the article, cultural and a company's most valuable intangible assets is reputation by Michael Vogel say, studies have identified a company reputation and its cultural as roughly 30 to even 40% of the stock value. This number proves that the company reputation is crucial to its success. This matters because a company image and reputation can significantly affect its relationship with customer, partner, and other stakeholder. Employees are the ones that deal directly with customer, and customer may mistakenly think that employees' opinion represent the whole company. In the worst case scenario, it would be hard and costly for the company to handle and restore its reputation or even deal with potential boycott from the customer. Or a company can uphold or portray a professional and unbiased image by having a neutral dress code policy, thus attracting a broader customer segment and stakeholder. Go back to Kenan.
In conclusion, we believe that employees should not be allowed to wear political attire to work in lieu of the required lab coat. This will minimize conflicts within the work environment by allowing us to work as a team and not become divided by political views. Wearing political attire or any other attire instead of your PPE also raises safety concerns. Safety is our #1 priority here at 23andMe, and we cannot put political views ahead of safety. 23andMe values everyone's political views, but we believe the workplace is not the right environment to express them. Thank you.
I hear you and I understand what you're coming from. My only issue is that, again, you are not actually addressing the issue. The issue isn't so simple as what people wear, but how they express themselves and the underlying issues that go with that. By simply masking everybody with white lab coats, the animosity that was there is still there. And only by addressing the issues and by everyone coming to terms with one another can we move forward in a positive direction. Thank you.
While the idea of promoting free speech, social justice, and values in the workplace may seem appealing, as the other team mentions, employees can feel more connected in the ability that it is can create conflicts and division among team members is even higher. Strongly held opinions on controversial subjects may lead to disagreements, misunderstanding, and hostility within the workplace. This can negatively impact collaboration, teamwork, and employee morale. Employees are still encouraged and respected for their own voices and uniqueness, but employees should express messages not work-related outside the workplace. Moreover, employees can be distracted and less focused on work-related matters. When our company allows free speech on any topic, this action may lead to excessive time employees spend on non-work related discussions. This can cause employees to work less efficiently and impact the company's overall productivity. To achieve as many benefits as possible, we firmly believe that the company should not allow employees to show support for political, social justice, or private preference matters in the workplace or through their attire. Thank you.